Good morning, good afternoon, greetings and salutations, good evening, and welcome to the Women of BSV. I have with me today Holger Vogel, who has been on our show before back in May, and that was episode number 89 if you want to go back and have a read of it. But Holger holds a PhD in macromolecular chemistry, which I think is phenomenal, in the field of structural analytics and computer simulations. And he's also got a diploma in physics from the University of Freiburg in Germany. And Bitcoin and its macromolecular like structure and resilience driven by economic game theory has been his passion since 2011. And he's regularly held lunch and learn sessions on this topic and has been a panel speaker at CoinGeek conference in London in 2020, in Zurich in 2021, and in London again in 2023. And you are finally turning to new challenges within tokenization and AI. And you are also a financial engineer. So you said to me that you were trying to fix the fully compliant use of AI and tokenizing of code in the most composable way. You are going to explain to us all about your new venture, which is www.ctcs.ch. So explain what you've been up to.
Yes, so I think I started to discussing this on the blockchain event in London, the future of tokens. To me, the future of tokens is the art of coding, not the art of apes, the art of clean code and working code, running code, better than looking into GitHub and don't know, is this code really running or is this code really doing what it should do? And by the way, where's the contract for that code? In GitHub, sometimes you can track why they changed the code. Sometimes there's a change log, whatever, an updating for the code. But where I came from banking, even there, if you get a task to do for changing code, normally you get a Jira or something like that, a change request, and people writing down what they think should be the legal contract, what the code in the future should do, that they can do the UAT testing and accept what you've done as a coder. But I think the better way is really to have a legal contract, like a Ricardian contract, paired together with that code that you deliver or that runs the thing that the contract described, and then you tokenize both in a pair. And also for the AI later, or the AI today, it would be much more better also to have kind of a legal domain large language model that is already transferring what human language is contracting. And then you have a much more easier way to find what the code is or should do, because it was accepted, hopefully, from the contractors, or both, because the coder is one part. And then you can even share these token outside and getting paid outside the second time, because normally you code it for your own environment, maybe. At least banks, most of the code runs inside, just only one time inside of the banks. Where I was working was Basler Kantonalbank and Bank Claire. We had already two banks and we had already two core applications where I was working on, and it was just copy code over from bank A to bank B. And not tokenized, because in-house it doesn't make sense to tokenize code there, and then maybe have a repository or gallery or something on token NFTs, code NFTs, where other people then just get into and select what you've done because they know it's working, I would be happy to have such a token gallery there on running code, because if you code, then you also look for your other dev colleagues. Oh, you have done this, I think 5 years ago, you have done something similar. I want to steal it. So, or I want to copy it. And inside of the same bank, you can do it mostly, but it's not, maybe it's documented differently. It's not, maybe there's no contract really properly around. You have to, in principle, you have to write it from scratch again, or kind of parts again. But if you think about fully composability, then you try to cut your code into really such modules that have to be written only one time, tokenized one time, paired with the contract, getting the test checked, getting the acceptance there, and you get hopefully records of run for your code.
That would also, you're saying about there was a piece of code that just had a small error in it, so it wouldn't work. So this would sort of track basically who's used the code, when they've used it, what they've used it for, any errors, any updates, etc.
Yes, that is quite interesting, because we were running in principle the code for 2 banks in parallel, and sometimes you found the bug only in the one side first. But think of maybe weeks later, whatever, months later, I don't know. But think of the same token of code is already running in bank, whatever, C, D, E, F, whatever. How many banks they might use the same code, because everybody needs to do the Swift ISO 222 migration, and it's all the same.
Yeah.
And they find the bug much more earlier, and you're quite happy if you get some hint on maybe somebody else from another bank is fixing your code, and you can buy back your token. Maybe you get it off because it was yours, or it's just cheap. It's better, it's faster, and the code getting better if many people are looking at and running it.
So that would keep a track of who's actually updating where, when, and what, and how, but also in real time. And it would then
hopefully
basically get rid of all these kind of blocks that you face at the moment, whereas you wouldn't be able to change that code yourself to rectify the error, even though you know what the error is, because you have to go through so many like legal red tape loopholes to be able to actually get to the person who wrote that code in the first place to change it in the structure that everything's kind of built in at the moment. So that, I mean, that makes complete sense.
It makes sense, yes. Yeah. Many people tell me it makes sense. The problem is to bootstrap it properly, because who writes the first token paired with the legal contract? Maybe not at the beginning properly, because I think most of the people are getting thrilled if the code is already composable and they don't care about the legal contract. But if you think of AI, I think AI at the moment is nothing else than kind of a money laundering mixer for IP, because they just go and steal whatever IP from the GitHubs and all the other coders on the planet have written, and you have lots of license and copyright issues there because nobody's getting paid.
But and it's not just the code inside either, is it? With kind of AI, it literally trudges through Google or whatever's on the internet and just takes anything and everything, and that's images, that's code, that's copyright,
everything.
Yeah.
And the trick is, if you go to banking today, and they have lots of audits there. They have also a lot of code checkings and certification checkings, because maybe the example you asked me was about a part of a certification or external certified code that I wasn't or shouldn't touch, and I touched it and I fixed the bug, and I got issues later on for doing something that I shouldn't do, and maybe the auditors coming and looking, oh yeah, you've breached a certification and whatever. But in these terms, you can use stuff much more easier and much more quicker because it is getting paid, and the certification is then maybe not the issue because the provider of the code is getting paid anyway. Yeah. Because for running, so we have not discussed the that you can fully cover the supply chain issues here that we try to fix on the physical world much more harder because physical interfaces
No,
always.
this is also interesting as well because you said to prove to people that it would work supply chain physically, you need to actually show it working virtually before
Hopefully.
they'll take
Yes.
a look at it to think, okay, well, how can we transfer this then into the physical world? We see it working. This is how it works. You've got a little website which is scrolling along the bottom, and
yes.
yeah. So explain.
Yes,
How
that's the start. We start to somehow to found the idea that you maybe because it should be maximum open. Nobody should really have a new silo there, no monolithic structure. But think of a marketplace, open marketplace. Maybe we use existing Bored Ape, whatever marketplaces too, because they're selling static code at the moment. A static code is just a JPEG. You put it onto your web browser and it's getting executed, hopefully in the right order, and you see your Bored Ape picture, whatever picture, and static. But you can also think of just a logic that the JavaScript is executing on your web browser, and then it's much more interesting than just the Bored Ape picture. And you can run it. And the idea is to have record of runs. And I think Craig Wright was talking about how you can do it, that you can control an NFT content who is able to, in principle, run or look at it with the correct license paid. And there's some gap I have not really figured out how to do it, and I'm happy to talk to anybody who has better ideas, or at least maybe already some prototyping there that you can see maybe a JPEG getting executed on the web browser, and you see a record of running this JPEG for the ape, whatever. Yeah? Because then with this technology, you can just run code in the controlled and records of run environment and getting paid for running the code. And if we are there for running and executing, or getting paid for running an execution of any little composable element, maybe, or a bunch of a bundle method, I think, yeah, depends on how big these composables then in the end are. Because if you think of a bank backbone, could be quite interesting who can run these composable then. And still, I think at a bank you have how many laptops the people are using in the bank. And overnight, the biggest jobs are running because they run the end of day, end of month, and end of period jobs overnight. And the laptops are just sitting there idle. They're doing nothing. And you pay a lot of fees to the cloud or whatever for your own server hosted, external, and you can save a lot of money, I guess, if you do it correctly. So, because you pay yourself in the bank, yeah, for running your code, if the infrastructure is there. Yep.
So this kind of is what you feel is needed then. And you've been working with a gentleman called Christopher Johnson.
Yes.
And he's been working he says he's got 25 years experience in banking and financial services as well. So
he was selling such silos to me. He was selling, he has another because I was in FX trading, and he was with Reuters selling FX all to all the banks outside, and even he came to me and yeah, FX all can do all. and they can just extend FXall to all the things we need. But on the other side, you have just another silo too. Yeah, you have Bloomberg, FXGo, you have 360T, you have all the other FX trading platforms still there because they don't want to integrate with each other because they're not built on composable elements where you just say, okay, the composable should be all the same, and I add on whatever I need on top of the basic FX composable that gets me all the liquidity from the markets. That's always duplicated in those FX trading platforms because they build their own liquidity providing tools there and whatever. Yeah?
Okay.
It's just a duplication of code there too, and
Yeah.
he knows the things what I'm talking about, and in principle he's able to use a lot of contacts he had already because selling FX and all the products to mostly all of the banks I know too. Why not asking the CEOs or the CIOs if we have MVP, because you have to have some MVP or something running to change parts of the IT systems they have into more composable way. And then you bootstrap a new way of running IT, large IT on a large scale. Okay, you have lots of composable tokens there of code, but I'm sure AI orchestration will do the job perfectly to keep the things much more better than today.
So really, when we're talking about the banking infrastructure, though, like the IT infrastructure, and like people are going on about CBDCs and stuff, but CBDCs don't solve this problem, do they?
I don't know if they solve. Yeah, what they really solve. Yeah, I'm critical a little bit. So I'm not sure because there are different colors of CDB. Central bank. Or at least stable coins, there's kind of different colors there. Who is who does the work? Who is doing the work? Because people should use the CDBCs in wallets. Maybe, yeah, that's the idea that I get. But still, you have the same work to do for KYC, AML checking, onboarding, offboarding, accounting. Who's doing this work?
Yeah.
I'm sure the national banks, as I understood it, because we also discussed this, that the national banks, they don't have the powers and to onboard all the clients. That's what the standard banks are doing. Yeah? In principle, it should be better to let them do all the things and also getting paid for the work. And I don't know if they really want to do this. I don't see it yet. Yeah, that is really coming. Maybe with a massive intervention from politics. Don't know. But the systems, what I'm trying to solve, I'm pretty much agnostic because I want just to have the most basic infrastructure between banks, or in principle, the payment infrastructure is also something that the blockchain industry is building all in their own silos again. Yeah, we have so many wallets, they use own code bases, own local silo code. And why not just putting all together into one collaborative environment? Even gaming is quite interesting because gaming also needs lots of payment and has issues.
Yeah, especially
some issues.
We were talking about the massive multiplayer.
Multiplayer
games as well.
That's why I looked into the gaming too, because I think if I can solve something in an industry where I don't have that the doors that closed as in banking, because banking they always need a few years to figure out, okay, so composable we haven't done yet. So I know only 2 or 3 software providers, they go into the composable way already today. One of the biggest is Mambu. Mambu is serving, I think, N26 Bank with software. I think it's the biggest German fintech startup for the last years is Mambu. And yeah, in principle, it's coming from e-commerce, the composable idea again. The top-down way is coming from e-commerce. They try to get really best of breed modules for their web shops and statistics and search tools and CRMs and whatever. They already started this a few years ago. That's why I think e-commerce is quite okay, or gaming is quite okay. They know in principle that you can do it really, really safely and maybe also even quicker to get your things done, because this is the slogan from Composable: just plug and play things together, and you have something already to start with.
Yeah.
And banks are not really there. They need to get started to turn slowly pieces of old legacy code, I would say, because those code are already written off. Why not sharing this code again? Why not sharing old code that is maybe 20, 30 years sitting there and working fine? It's working fine. And why not just offering this again to the market? Because you can sell those tokens, you can earn another incentive, and you can turn other developers there and maybe even fix stuff there on old code. I think it's a good idea,
In principle, it sounds like it would be the best way to go about it, really, wouldn't it? If you've got, and sort of maybe have like hackathons or workshops or something.
Yes.
I mean, maybe they do that. I'm not sure. Maybe they do that, but it sounds as though they haven't done that, to be honest with you. I mean, this is a huge area, and especially when you think about scaling up as well of the banking system, the worldwide banking system, and the worldwide supply chain, and the gaming. It's just a huge market. So we do have a little presentation that you showed me. So and I notice that you are lagging a little bit, Holger. So I'm going to add this to the screen, and then we can have a chat about this. So this is your composable tokenized coding system, your CTCS, and it's in beta at the moment. You were showing me that I can walk around this room, and if I double click onto here, we get a little presentation. So this is the website, and building accountable IT composable virtual chains, which is what you've just been talking about, really. Yeah, so these slides here, which I think is cool, is, they correspond to these slides down here.
Yeah.
So your big tech today, fragmented share elements of code and ops. So banking, fintech, government, automotive, supply chain, enterprise gaming, e-commerce, which is everything you've just been speaking about.
We forgot to talk about the resilience I expect to have if you do the same, in principle, the same setup as we have in mining. On the blocks, people mine on the first hand, maybe they mine code tokens, but I think of their mining results. If they start mining results because they run the tokens of code, and they can also do it in parallel, maybe 3, 4, 5, whatever, how many people might try to keep up and win the race of a very dense overnight job on a bank side, or maybe on gaming, I'm not sure, but banks have really problems always if they run overnight jobs or end of month jobs. And there, it would be cool if you have a competition on who is first ready, because banks want to start 7 o'clock in the morning, and it's not always the case. And if you have the same structure on co-competition of running tasks of a bank, maybe just also first in-house, because banks maybe don't like to give other people running their system. You can do this in-house if you have a correct system and correct setup. Lots of laptops in-house running overnight, getting a price for competition.
And making the banks more efficient, hopefully.
And resilient.
Yeah.
The code itself, if many banks using the same code structures, or maybe same infrastructure, or kind of very similar infrastructure, because they will always have some specialities there and want this one here and that one there. But at the back end, kind of, they should be running on much more better designed code as we have today, because it's shared. It's overlooked.
Yeah.
It's somebody else finds a bug, makes it better, pass it over. It's principle a chain of code. Getting the code better, like the blockchain we have in Bitcoin, getting better.
Yeah. So the more, I mean, I always think that, the MetaNet ICU, I feel, is a good place for that to happen, because it's a place where developers can come together and they can discuss about Bitcoin, and then you can talk about all of these, these issues that you feel that need to be improved, or, and put your heads together. And the more, like a think tank, I suppose, in a sense, where you hopefully should be able to define what the issues are,
Yes.
and then work together and collaborate together to be able to rectify these issues, and then build some really great infrastructure.
Maybe with gaming, because that's what I try to do with Jerry Chan and his robots, because he is quite close there with getting code into competition, because his robots, they need a little logic code to run and fight, and if you win against other robots, your code might be better, and you can tokenize the code later on and trade it, and somebody else might buy the code and improve it even more to win the next games. That's quite the idea behind gaming. Just let's us start with gaming, because there you can show maybe even create a full closed economy there on code markets, because today they claim the open source software, they have always software markets for on GitHub, but that's not a market. There's no price. You cannot really trade NFTs there, kind of. Not yet.
Not yet. Maybe in the
And
future.
banks, by the way, banks are looking, I guess they're happy if they have new assets, because they're always looking for, what is the best new digital asset? And I say bundles of code, because then if you have a bundle of code there, and maybe different bundles of code, which are kind of commodity like, you can even start and hedge against costs of coding, which is not possible today. They have no way of hedging cost. There's hedging all the other stuff you can do, but there's no energy hedging, I guess. It's energy you can kind of try to do, but there's no hedging for CPU time. There's no hedging for cloud space, and there's no hedging for timestamping service. Nothing.
So this could be a future
new assets.
Then, okay. No,
what do you think what we do when we try to sell the banks the system? Well, the new way of coding. We sell all new stuff there, coding, running, and new digital assets for they make them happy. That's what Christopher Johnson is good for. Make them happy.
Excellent. So this is your partnering in I won't say crime, but your partner in coding and composable. So you just said he might be able to come on one day. That would be great. We can have a conversation with him and see what he's got to say about things as well. So how can the women of BSV help you? Who do you need to speak to? What do you need to?
So in principle, everybody who is interested in helping there, because it's just because I'm not sure if somebody else had already a similar idea, but I've not found. There are kind of different approaches to composability, and even in the blockchain space, there is a little bit there, but they are mostly going to bridging chain A and chain B with whatever composable elements, or maybe the metaverse. Maybe I should, because the application. Why is this metaverse there on my homepage? In the homepage, in principle, I have two of the metaverses. They are microverses, because these are the beginning of how to do these things composable.
So should I show them your
Yes.
walkthrough room? So
just to explain, there are two such. I think the one you showed just where there's a kind of a gallery there where you can walk in like a micro metaverse room. Yeah, it's just a single room, a single gallery where you can walk around, and it's a showroom, I guess. Yeah, it's a showroom. This is the other one. It's more experimental, where you can see there's also something moving. And on the panel, if you click directly into the panel a little bit, there's a parameter here for the forward by. See there, this forward by with .co3 inside, and then just
minus, okay.
And then just Alt S for string S, Control S for saving.
Control S, okay.
Oh, what you done? So you can, in principle, that's what I'm saying. You can code, you can share code already there, but the future is that this thing needs also be fully composable, which it isn't yet. But I would like to appreciate people. How can we do this composable? And this is code I want to have on a token, yeah, and a tokenized code. And I think hopefully with a contract together, what it should do. Yeah, that would be the goal here, to put things on a composable element, because you can click those drone there and drag it out or save it. You can save the things. Yeah, click on it. You can. Yeah, you can, in principle, you can do it from here and save it and move it into another one, into another microverse.
Oh, I see. So yes. Yeah, okay. So
it could be already a part of the NFT, which is a tokenized item. Share it, drag and drop it, and then you have a new item in your microverse. Yeah, that's the idea.
Okay.
So why not starting? You have to start somewhere, and this is the most easiest way, as I found, to have a nice environment, which is a microverse, which has a cool show effect. And by the way, everybody can just mostly for free go to Croquet, copy the code, fork it onto a free GitHub account, a repo, and just launch it for free. That is costly free to do it. The only cost I had to do is buying a domain and put it onto a domain. Yes, because you can run on GitHub. You can run GitHub pages. The thing is a fully how we say it's a fully static page in principle. You can just run it from a GitHub pages with low cost.
There's plenty of things that you can do. Hold on, let me go back to the. Okay, so we've got a lovely photo of you here, so we could add a gallery in here of any.
Everybody can, yes. What I say, everybody can for cheap or for low, for nothing, in principle, create their own gallery, and then can create whatever items or things they want to have inside and tokenize it and put it on a market. And then share people and earn money. And the next thing is running code for others on their side, which is possible.
Yeah, so this could be like a virtual classroom as well. I mean, you have your presentation, etc. as well, or you could have like a virtual, cinema, or on there as well.
I called my H basement, if you know Ready Player One. because
personally, I've not played. I'm so bad. I was saying really, like I've been acting and I've been in a play, which is so I've been away from the computer for a while, and then I've just been doing some paintings and some animating some storybooks. So I've had my head down doing other things at the moment. But it says, "Welcome to H's player own basement."
It's my own basement.
Own basement.
Because you can own. Everybody can own their own thing, and that's really cool. So just put little images there, a few stuff inside, and you have your own room just for free.
Yeah, and then I mean, obviously tradable assets as well. Whereas you could add a sofa, you could add a couple of chairs, you could add a plant or something, you know, and then like you know, proper gaming.
Oh, what we completely forgotten? We've forgotten that there are portals. Maybe just try to turn around and try to see if the portal is closed again.
Okay, we have a plan.
There's a point. The portal is closed.
We have a
purple... Yeah, but you can open it, and then there's another portal there.
Hold on, I'm a bit too close to it to see what it is, though, because it's a purple door. It's a door.
Oh no, it's working. Yay. How do you do it? Okay, so it's working again.
Now it's closed. It won't let me in.
No.
There we go. Hold on,
quickly. Oh, why is it's
no,
opening? Maybe you have to run through if it's once it open. Anyhow, if you try to run through once it's open, run. Yay!
Okay, so I mean,
we're close. But the idea is that you can that you can connect whatever you want into a larger.
Well, I mean, you could just have like you say with multiplayer games. I mean, use just infinite amounts of rooms, but these could be like, you know, your virtual hackathons or virtual training.
Can you click right? Can you click right at the menu, please? There it is. Yes. So I will join you in a few seconds with another player.
Two visitors. Mad Hatter. Hello.
That's me now. Hello.
Mad Hatter.
Okay, and you're new white. Yes. So
well, I can't see my own character, so
you can't see your own. No, I can't. No. I can't see you. I can see you, but I still have no. No, I can move. Okay, so I can move a little bit. Ooh.
So the door should be opening in a moment.
I can't move. No, I can move a little bit.
Excellent.
So I'm behind you.
So I'm going to try to go into here again. Look, you see the Metaverse Showcase website. Oh, but the door closes on me again. So maybe I need something magical.
So I'm running through the room. Oh, you're outside now? No, you're inside.
I am.
You're inside. Yeah, you're looking into. Yeah, I'm running to the room here. You see me running. So I'm running, and I try to. That's really funny that there's this door closed there. Anyhow, so but in principle, no, we could have a chat there. We can have a call here. I can pick up. Should I try to get you? Gather. So I gathered. Yeah, I took you, and now I can take you. I can take you and try to. Where's my moving? So I can take you now to some image.
Croquet is a platform that enables developers to build real-time multi-user experiences without writing any back.
Yes.
Instead of running code on a server, Croquet runs the code on each client.
So we have
Croquet's edge reflector orders the messages to clients so that they execute in sync, ensuring everyone stays consistent while keeping latency ultra low.
Tone you can switch
Croquet
off
is
only
especially
locally.
good for multi-user web-based experiences, such as data visualizations, collaborative productivity tools, synchronized media, shared simulations, multiplayer games, rapid prototyping of just about any shared experience, and even the metaverse. These types of applications are usually hard to build, especially the networking, state synchronization, messaging systems, deployment, and scaling. Croquet eliminates this headache and allows you to instead focus on building your app without writing a single line of server-side or networking code. And that's Croquet, a platform
really cool,
for creating real-time multi-user experiences for web and mobile using only client-side code. Get your free API key, download the library, and get started today.
Now, what a great application for people that don't code.
Yes.
Don't know anything about coding.
Absolutely.
And so this is what you've been using to be able to generate all of this? I mean, how long has this taken you?
2 days, 3.
Oh, wow. Okay, not very long at all then.
No. I'm also lazy, yeah.
Well, I would say that you're actually on like a personal sabbatical at the moment, because you did finish at the bank a couple of months ago. You said it was the end of June, so you've been quite busy really in respect, and so I think it's a well-deserved break that you're having. And I wouldn't say that building this in 2 days is lazy. I would say that that was quite a feat, to be honest with you. So, you know, whereabouts are you at the moment with everything? We've got this wonderful little room. We've got the code where I've just literally made the drone not fly over the coding square. You've built this, and so what's the next phase for you?
I think the phase is just to get some fun on the gaming side. This is to get mostly a shared, like Frobots is doing, having just fun on something that multiplayer can use, and maybe multi-devs can also modify and earn a little bit money by maybe getting better code, better items, whatever into the games. And I'm not, so my interest is not really on just static items. I think the problematic thing is to portal stuff into other microverses too, to get it, to have the same functionality. And I think Croquet is also, they have some good way to try to do it. It's not really working fully. So I made a little hack into the one microverse that you see your avatar, because it's sometimes it's getting lost. So you have to hack a little bit. But the dynamics of the items, this is the problem, yeah. To have it shared into different microverses, and even to run it properly, because somebody else should or might have to run your behavior code. Your avatar has a behavior code, or your items have a behavior logic. Like the drone is circling a special way, and you can change these behaviors, and other ones needs to run it too. Why not paying the other ones for doing that correctly? This is if I can solve these issues, I'm happy, yeah, because then I can try to get. I'm not sure if anybody has done created a JavaScript cluster just connected with many web browsers and games running each other's code on JavaScript. I know for Java, because I was a Java dev too. On Java, the banking backbones mostly run on Java, and there you have big clusters to run jobs and tasks parallel, and really heavy stuff you do in Java. Yeah. Not that sure how much you can do with JavaScript. We should get Ryan X. Charles back, because maybe he knows.
Well, the last I knew of Ryan, he was building an AI to do his job for him. So
yeah. Why not connecting? Because it's also AI. Yeah, so I think we need AI avatars too. Yeah, the little helpers, they will be on AI. They will come and ask you kindly whatever you want in the gallery. Maybe sell you little standard tokens without any human interaction.
Yeah, well, this is how I understand that, things are going to progress in the future is, there's going to be all these automated, I mean, we've already got automated services,
Yes.
but, more automation, more AI speaking to AI and doing jobs. And then, this kind of figure of 300 million people that are going to lose their jobs because of AI might be to do with,
Yes. Yeah.
those kind of interactions that will be done between the AI and the machines itself.
By the way, maybe if Ryan has interest to, because I'm the compliance guy, so I try really to get the AI fully compliant and banks being able to use it too, because if banks use it, then everybody can use it, I guess. And solve the IP, the copyright stuff there, and that you can do if people are getting paid for the IP, the creation they do, and then it's only the terms of negotiation if it's enough or not. But if you don't pay, you're always in the really bad corner, and that's banking never want to do.
Yeah. So how can people get in touch with you, Holger?
There are lots of email addresses or LinkedIn things there. Happy to talk to.
So if you go to www.ctcs.ch, which is running across the bottom of the screen,
you go to LinkedIn profile, you can mail. That's all open. Yeah.
Okay, and you're also in the MetaNet ICU as well.
I'm in the MetaNet. I try to connect to Luke. I spoke to Kurt a little bit. Because Luke is quite busy with also some game. Kurt told me I should really talk to him because he and maybe I can also run stuff on AutoFS. I have not figured out how to, because right now things are on a GitHub, but I think you can run also it fully on AutoFS. The new ordinal page from, I guess, from David, or who's doing this, Shrugger. Just talk to me. Yeah, happy to do
reach
stuff.
Out. Holger's available. You go to
I'm sabbatical. Yes,
on there. Yeah, he's free to speak to anybody. You're at the MetaNet ICU. You're on LinkedIn. Are you on Twitter as well? Or...
Yes.
Yeah. And you are on Twitter as well.
A few days. I hate it, but I'm a few days now on Twitter.
So, what's your Twitter handle?
You can find me with my name there, I guess. Where is my profile? Try to Holger John Vogel. You will find it.
There you go then. So just all one word, is it?
Yeah, one word. Like my homepage.
Okay, awesome. So you're available on plenty of platforms.
Yes, I try all.
Get in touch. But it sounds like, I mean, to me, it sounds like you've been ultra busy, and I must admit, I took a sabbatical a bit myself, so I could go and do some acting and perform and stuff. So thank you so much for enlightening me on all of this that you've been doing, and I hope it goes really well. And please do come back, and if there's anything that can do to at least just help get the word out there, just let us know.
Thanks a lot. Cheers.